Welcome back everyone to Europa Universalis 4 with the Great Culture Wars, and we're going to start off today's episode with two succession wars, but we will start with the one that was a bit more unexpected. So, we had the ruler of Serbia die without an heir, and now the nobles have asked the Tsaritsa Lyudmila Lukinsky of Muscovy for protection, and she has accepted to become ruler of the Serbs. And seeing as they were being surrounded by Muscovites, the Silesian rulers have decided to dispute this claim and declare a war. Now, unfortunately though, Muscovy is not only very powerful themselves, but they have some powerful friends. So we have the Ruthenians in this, the Crimeans, and of course the Greeks and Serbians as the junior partner in the personal union. Now, it doesn't really look too bad when you have a look at this map right now. Franconians, Romanians here, but no, the Silesians are in this war all by themselves. This is a completely different war that they're in, and we'll talk about that in a second. So yeah, this is the succession war we have. Now, you gotta admit that the Silesians are putting up a fierce resistance, but we should also mention that this is their entire army, whereas the Muscovites, they're besieging a fortress, that the capital is under siege by the Greeks. We even have the Crimeans here besieging Krakow, and the Muscovites have basically an entire army in reserve, just marching through Ruthenia at this very moment. So, as much as I, must admit the bravery of the Silesian soldiers, their capital just fell, and they're about to lose this battle as well. We'll obviously stick around for it to see the end, but this is very decisive, the Battle of Wien, or Vienna here, and, it's gonna just mark the end of the Silesian dominance, which really lasted only for a short time in this area, and was really never particularly stable. The problem Silesians have is that the succession is coming at a really bad time for them. Now, I totally understand why they joined in on this war, because obviously the Muscovites would just be able to surround them and attack from two sides, as they're doing right now, and with the Turks knocking on the southern border, this is scary. But because they're in this war with the Burgundians, and for the life of me, I don't know why, but this capital of Bourgogne here, it's just not fallen, and it just happened to be the war goal. So the Burgundian Franconian imperialist war, it's not over, because obviously the Catalans are in this, basically completely untouched in this war, so they're contributing a lot of power to the alliance. So the Burgundians don't want to have peace, and as long as the capital, doesn't fall, a lot of war score is on their side. And, even though their army is about to be completely wiped out here, they will still hold this, and this obviously binds the Franconians in the west, and therefore they were not able to join the Silesian, offensive war here. So it might be that this war will end soon enough, and the Franconians could help out the Silesians. Still, even then, I don't think the Silesians will win, will win the throne of Serbia here, but at least it doesn't make it as devastating for them. Because at this point, not only are the Muscovites going to keep the throne of Serbia, but they will also probably make significant gains in Hungarian or even Slovakian, or I guess Silesian lands. So this is really bad for them. I hope the Franconians will be able to join in time. But that's something we're going to have to figure out. Other than that, we have got some rebel uprisings here in Burgundy. Not really a surprise, but yeah, the capital just doesn't want to fall. Alright, so I guess at this point we should talk about the other wars that we have got going on. And I talked about these two wars, and here's the second succession war, the Highlander succession war. And of course, the Highlanders have for a long time shared the dynasty with the Danish, and just at some point it had to happen. And finally they died without a proper heir, and Denmark of course claimed the right to rule their country, and that has been accepted, except for the Irish. They were not interested in giving up, or in just giving over the entirety of Scandinavia to the Danish. So they disputed that claim. So far, it's not really going well for them. And the problem here is that the Highlanders, obviously, they have been exiled from their initial starting location, right? So if we have a quick look here, they have been exiled, but they still have their cause. So if it goes really badly for the Irish, they might even leave. They might even lose their provinces up here in the north. So, that's terrible. And you're probably wondering, well, why are the Irish alone in this? Why didn't the Scots join? Well, the thing is, the Leonese declared a war before that, the Leonese-Irish Imperialist War, and obviously the Leonese are quite scary, and they called in, well, no one important really. I guess the Portuguese with their big army, but other than that, they didn't really call anyone in that is particularly scary. But the Scots still refused to join, despite the Normans joining in on this war. So it's the Normans and Irish facing off against the Leonese. So far they're winning, but because the Scots broke their alliance, you know, it's looking really bad for them in their succession war over the Highlander throne. So the Danish are most likely going to keep their throne, and that essentially reinstitutes the Kalmar Union, because the Swedes are a vassal of the Danish directly, and the Danish now also own the throne of the Highlanders, and the Highlanders in turn have the Norwegians as their vassal. And this is really cool. So essentially this province, all of the Highlander lands are part of the Danish realm, and the Swedes as well. Now here's the thing, the Norwegians, they have cores on, well, basically just one core on the Finnish, but the Swedes have tons of cores on the Finnish and the Flemish as well. So here's the thing, if the Danish really mean to reconquer these lands, they would truly own all of Scandinavia, basically, if they just, you know, get their cores back for their subjects and their subjects. So that'd be really cool to see. And in the meantime, or in this process, they might as well just take over the Flemish lands here and the Flemish lands over here, and then they're all set. They grow. In fact, they could also take these Flemish lands, since, you know, they have the Dutch heartland. So the Danish have so many opportunities for conquest here, and they could really rack up a lot of development. They even managed to surpass the Irish, just barely, but they surpassed the Irish now. And if they're successful in their war, and, you know, even, you know, perhaps take these lands back for the Highlanders, yeah, they at least solidify their position as the great power number 8 in the world. One thing I just want to point out here, because I totally forgot about it until I checked out the Leonese-Irish Imperialist War. We have the Welsh. The Welsh are actually still existent here in the Shetland Islands, which I think is funny. So they're basically just like the Maltese, who own one single island and still live. I guess the difference is that Malta... No, actually, Shetlands are a bit more developed. So yeah, there's that. But here's the thing. Malta at least keeps kept their capital province, whereas the Welsh have been exiled. You know, that's sad for them, but they're still around. So, you know, I thought I'd mention that. But yeah, I guess at this point we'll check out the wars. Burgundy, or the Burgundian capital, hasn't fallen yet. So yeah, I don't know if we're ever going to see a peace here. The succession war is going badly for the Irish. Not really a big surprise. Even the Estonians joined in, and the Prussians. Yeah, look how many people joined in on the Danish side. The Irish are really losing this quite heavily, and so are the Silesians. They are not going to be able to get the throne of Serbia. Luckily, the Serbians do not have any claims on their lands, because they fought together to take over Hungary. But the Muscovites at least have one claim, I think. No, they don't have any claim either. So we might see the Swedes, we might see the Czechs, perhaps even the Slovaks, or the Hungarians, or the Austrians. There are many nations that could come back. I don't know if the Muscovites are going to do it. It would be quite stupid for them to release the Polish, but it's possible that we see that as well. But I think what's more likely going to happen is that the Muscovites will take some provinces for themselves, and might even give some to the Serbs. And perhaps they'll do it so much that they even connect their lands. That would be the smartest thing to do. At least that's what I would do. So, you know, we shall see what happens. But this is probably the next piece that we'll see. Other than that, the Leonese are not doing too well in their own war. But that's okay. Oh my god, finally! The Burgundian capital has fallen. The last remnants of their army is going to get smashed, or maybe has already been smashed. And that means we're going to see a peace deal here very, very soon. In fact, is this a fortification? Let me quickly check this out. Is this a fortress? This is a fortress. Oh, wow. So yeah, the Burgundians do have a lot of fortifications here that will have to be taken before a peace deal can be signed. But, you know, now the ticking war score is in favor taken up in favor of the Franconians, so they can get another 25, which would put them at above 50 even. So yeah, they will be able to take a significant portion of the Burgundian lands, even with the Catalans still in this war. Okay, so that's that. The Franconians have won. It took them quite a while, I must say. In fact, you know what? I want to see how long it took them to get to this point, because this war has been going on for a while. Let me quickly check this out. Yeah, that's 5 years. And you know what? They defeated the Burgundian troops relatively fast into the war. It didn't take that long, but just sieging that capital was, it was terrible. But yeah, so there's no one particularly able to send any forces to the Irish mainland. Not really a surprise, especially with Norman support here. At least the Leonese won't be able to do much. And the Danish, yeah, they're not sending in any troops either. But here's the thing, the Danish, since they're the defenders in this war, they will get 25 taking war score, which might be enough to give these cores back, especially if there are no fortifications here. And I don't think I see a fortress. Nope. So yeah, it's quite likely that at least these two provinces are going to get given back to the Highlanders, which would be nice. It would be nice for them to return home. But that also means, you know, this is a big deal, because the Scots had the chance to protect the Irish, at least against the Leonese. And that would have given the Irish a bit more opportunities to fight the Danish. I think they still would have lost, but, you know, overall it would have been better for them. Now the Scots, if the Highlanders truly get their cause back, the Scots will have a border with an outside nation that they're not allied to that could potentially threaten their homelands. So they were in a really great position before. Now it could be scary. It could be scary. But anyways, we have a peace. No? Well, oh, we do. Ouch. Oh my gosh. Oh, what happened? They ripped Burgundy apart. Ouch. So the Franconians obviously did not... Oh wow, they were not holding back. They took 6 provinces, including Paris, which, you know, doesn't have its significance that it has now, but still, it's an important mention here. Wow. And they also removed the other 4 Burgundian cores that were on their lands before. So, you know, there's still cores here, but the Burgundians can't take back as much, even if they were to win another war. And also they had to give back a ton of provinces, ton of the provinces they previously stole from the Gascons. Wow. And even including Berry and Bourbon. I think there was like another 1, 2, 3, like 5 provinces. That's insane. That's just like 11 provinces like this. Now we obviously have the Normans and the Franconians touching. Very unfortunate, but perhaps the Normans will get removed now. Wow, but yeah, look at the Franconian name. That is pretty powerful. Now I wonder, are you going to join in on the Muscovite War? Doesn't look like it. Yeah, I don't think the Silesians are even going to ask you. So you won in the west, but with your ally declaring this, well, I wouldn't say it's a stupid war. It was just really a bad timing. You sort of lost in the east because you lose a very strong ally that could have protected you from the Muscovites. So yeah, that's bitter. That's bitter, certainly. Okay, so how are the Leonese doing? They have tons of troops, but they're basically just standing home. Alright, well, that is the way it is. There's the last resistance, the last Silesian resistance, even fighting some Crimeans here. But, well, they might win this. Depends on what the Greeks do. Depends on what this Muscovite army does. Note they were successful defending these mountains here. But yeah, it doesn't really help them. Vienna is on the siege, will fall quickly. The capital has been taken for such a long time. You know, that is just, yeah, it's done. They're done for. Now, I really wonder what's gonna happen. Is Muscovy just gonna take lands, or will they release a nation? I don't really think they would have any benefits in releasing a nation, especially, you know, with controlling Serbia now. There really is no point. But the AI is the AI, so they might do some stupid stuff here. Okay, we're at negative 97%. I think once Vienna falls, which is the last... I think that is the last fortification. No, there is one more fortification here in Hunyad. I'm not sure if we're going to have to wait for that one as well. It's possible. Now, we know that all of the Hungarian lands are lower than 100% war score, because, you know, the Silesians took another war previously. But I wonder, I mean, I don't think you can take all of these lands, can you? No, the total war score cost for Silesian provinces is 500%. Okay, so yeah, they're still going to be around, but they might lose a huge part of Hungary in this. That's very possible. But yeah, wow. Burgundy was looking so strong for such a long time, and they were just being ripped apart. Oh well. Now, as for some other smaller wars or smaller peace deals that we saw, obviously we had the war between Bulgaria and the Romanians, and just as I expected, Trebizond was ceded to the Romanians, but not really a big surprise there. And as for the Catalan Sardinian imperialist war, eventually, obviously, all of Sardinia's allies dropped out of the war. So the Catalans were, just facing off against them, and New Sardinia had to pay with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of their cores. Now we have a few, separatists here, but despite having twice as many men, they seem to be losing here. So, yeah, I think Catalans have this under control. As I said, unless, maybe Northern Canada or Louisiana or both get involved, the Catalans have North America under their control. There's no one that could really, stop them at this point. So, not even rebels. Certainly rebels not. They're not going to be powerful enough. But yeah, apparently there's another war between the Occitans and the Tunisians, an imperialist war. Okay, so this could be interesting. Tunisians, Catalans, Andalusians, Moroccans, Piemontese, and their colonial nations fighting the Occitan and the Obertangi family. Louisiana, Aragonese, and Sardinia. Huh. Okay, so this is interesting. Let's quickly check that out, because I'm a bit confused as to who are the combatants. So in Europe, it's basically the Neapolitans and the Occitans versus the Piemontese. They should win that. North Africa will definitely go to, or Africa in general will definitely go to Morocco, Tunisia, and Andalusia. There's no doubt about that. And in the Americas, we've got strong Occitan Colombia, so South America is definitely in their favor. As for North America, this is interesting, because Louisiana and Occitan Mexico, they definitely can throw a punch. The question is, how powerful are the Piemontese colonies? How much can they help out the Catalans here? And of course, how powerful are the Louisianans? They got 80,000 men, which is decent. But the Catalans are way stronger than that. All right, so we'll have to see how things turn out. But that is bringing some spice to North America here. All right, I like that. We'll probably check out a few battles here, because we haven't really been focusing on North America, because there's basically one huge country. I really hope the Normans get involved. If the Normans get involved here in North America, that could be really fun, because they obviously, with Canada, control so much power. So that would be really fun to see. Yeah, but I think we should just cut back quickly to Silesia here. That 99%, are you really going to wait for this last fortification? I suppose we're waiting for... We're at 99%. I really don't get what the AI's deal is here. At this point, you can just peace out, dude. Like, there's no reason to wait. I mean, I suppose there's an ongoing battle, so you should wait for that to be over before you make your peace talks. But, ever after that concluded... Oh, come on. You're waiting for the fortress? I suppose we're waiting for the fortress then. Alright, fine. Normandy completely besieged by the Leonese. At least, yeah, their European holdings. But what does that mean for the Leonese-Irish imperialist war? It doesn't mean much. It doesn't mean much. Because Ireland holds their capital. And, they've got 90,000 men here. I don't think that the Leonese have a fleet big enough. And they're certainly too stupid to coordinate this properly. So they won't be able to send much up here. As for the succession war, that is still going on as well. Negative 25%, and it is growing. I mean, battles are being lost. Locations are in... well, no, actually, they're occupations. Wait, what is being occupied? Oh, Irish Mexico, Irish La Plata, I see. So in the New World, they're losing battles and occupations, and obviously that will be enough war score to give these lands back to the Highlanders. Then they're also losing naval, well actually they're winning that naval battle. The Estonians are in this, not really helping out too much. Alright, well, I think we should switch to America, because I think there's a bit more fun going on here, but that will have to happen in the next episode. For now, I will end this episode here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.